This week on Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation.
When we start to get curious about the thoughts that we are letting occupy that valuable mental space, that energetic space, we only have so much ability. Like in any given moment, we really can only hold one thought at a time. And if the majority of them are not serving us, it really does keep us stuck.
Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. I'm excited about this conversation because a lot of times we have that emotional and mental clutter that keeps us stuck from moving forward to whatever we want to do in life. And that's why I always bring on the expert, Cailen Ascher, and she's going to be here just to kind of give us some tips and strategies on how we can really get unstuck. So, Cailen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Janet. I'm looking forward to it.
So, before we get into the conversation, what made you decide to really focus on being a coach, but also a business mentor?
Mm, well, I've been a coach for about 10 years now. And I
Okay.
think what really got me started on this path was people were asking me for business advice. Was in yoga at the time, teaching yoga and starting my yoga business, and I had other teachers saying, "Hey, you've got a website and you're writing a blog." Back when we used to blog, and asked my thoughts on how they could view their
Hmm.
own yoga practice more like a business and reach more people. So it sort of found me. And then that's the industry wasn't quite what it is now. It's gotten a lot bigger and a lot, more prolific. But at the time, it was new and I didn't know much about it. And so as I explored this idea of I work with women, supporting women on their entrepreneurial journeys, helping them tap into the work that they feel most called to do, that feels like their soul's mission, and giving them guidance on how to bring that into the world. I'm like, sounds like the best job ever. How could I not be focused on this? And so that's what planted the seed. And the last 10 years have been living and learning and growing and pivoting and all the things we do when we're business owners.
Hmm. So, a lot of times when we talk about clutter, we always talk about the stuff,
Yeah.
but it's more than that. So, what are some of the things when it comes to the emotional and the mental clutter that keep women stuck in whatever? I mean, I love what you said about how you really help people in the entrepreneurial world, but just generally in life. Like, what is some of the stuff that just like, okay, it's just
Yeah.
there?
Right. I think so many of us travel through life with stories
Mm-hmm.
that we think are how the whole universe operates. It's like, oh, making money is hard, or it's so challenging in my relationship with this person. And we weave these stories that then keep us stuck. And I mean, I'm guilty of this. No one's, even when you're self aware, no one's perfect. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's when you start realizing that the things that you repeat to yourself habitually start showing up in some way, shape, or form externally, you begin to realize how precious that mental space is. And you don't want to fill it with all the garbage and the negative thoughts and the self criticism and the doubt and the limiting beliefs that feel bad in our bodies. Like our nervous system responds negatively when we think these things. And so awareness is the first step of just noticing, oh my gosh, why am I thinking that again?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't feel good. That's not helpful. And not making ourselves wrong for it, because that just piles on. And it gives us a little space between us and the thought. We realize we're not one and the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. And it's interesting because in regards to my own life, for so long, I never really thought of myself as athletic. I mean, just basically for my entire life. But once I started changing that narrative and really just walking, and I don't consider myself athletic like a lot of people, but I'm really glad that I took the step. And it's like, okay, I'll take a few steps today. And then one day I realized I was like 18 steps in. So you're right. It's like changing that mindset. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to compare myself to those other people, but what really works for me. So why do so many people feel like overwhelmed, even when they're productive and doing all the right things?
I think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We're comparing our reality and we experience all the dimensions of it to other
Hmm.
people's social media
Oh,
presence. And it's like,
well.
oh my gosh, look, their kids are smiling in every picture. It's like, well, they're
Hmm.
not posting the pictures where their kids are making faces and crying. Like we're in this world where we we think we see into so many people's realities when we're really
Hmm.
a curated version of it. So I think we are really hard on ourselves, thinking I should be further along, I should be better at this, I should be thinner, I should look younger, I should, all of these things because we feel that other people are doing it better when in reality we've all got our stuff that we're dealing with. And so I think that's a piece of it. And I think a lot of us, I mean, I know I grew up as like the straight A student, following the rules, getting my work done in advance, being, I hate this term, but like being the good girl, being
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
responsible one.
Hmm.
And then we carry that into adulthood as this badge of honor of like, oh, I've got it all together and I'm holding it all together, but I can't move because I feel so frozen. And we have all these shoulds. Oh, I should show up like this as a wife, or I should do this as a mother, or I should do this for my work or my business or whatever it is. And that just puts so much pressure on us instead of just giving ourselves a little grace to be
Hmm.
who we are in this now moment and
Hmm.
just doing our best. I think a lot of us are just like really trying to do our best, but then
Hmm.
we think it's not enough. And
Hmm.
so that makes it feel heavy.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, it's like that almost sometimes can even lead to stress and burnout
Mm,
because we're trying to do that wife, the mother, the career woman, the community person, and you're trying to fulfill all of those roles, and then you're just burning yourself out to the point where, you need to almost just give yourself some oxygen in the oxygen mask and really tend to your needs.
yeah.
So, you know, how does, and you already kind of touched on this, but the identity,
Mm,
who we think we are or feel we need to be, contributed to all that emotional clutter. And you already talked about that. It's like, okay, I got to be the perfect wife or I got to be the perfect friend.
mm. Yeah, we move through life with
Mm-hmm.
all these labels. And then we have an idea of what all of these labels should look like and should be like. And that's a lot of noise. That's a lot to
Mm-hmm.
carry around.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I'm really in this phase of my life. I just turned 40, so I'm really feeling into this decade ahead of me. It's just this deep sense of permission to just be okay with who I am and where I'm at and the version of those things that I am that feel true to me. It's like, okay, maybe there's stereotypically what the perfect mom looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be the best version of a mom that I can be. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to look like anybody else, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
way that I can be there for my girls that feels good for me and feels good for them, but doesn't necessarily fit the cookie cutter mold.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm constantly thinking that I'm less than because I'm not fitting that stereotypical model, there's this dissonance constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I think is deeply important and what I practice every day is coming into, as best I can, alignment with my own self and my own truth, and then moving into my day from that place of how can I bring me, this essential me, into my work and my
Mm-hmm.
relationships and my mothering and all of the pieces, because I don't necessarily want to be the stereotypical best at things. I want to be my own highest expression in all those places.
Mhm. And I can understand as a single woman, sometimes it's almost like I wanna I love and I enjoy, Caitlin, I enjoy just staying home and just being cozy.
Hmm.
But it seems like, well, why do you wanna stay home? You should get out. You should do this. Now, of course, as we do this recording, it's a little cold outside.
Yes.
So that's why I'm enjoying, and I had to really, be comfortable with that. It's like, you know what? I understand, you want to go this place, that place, and another place. But right now, I am enjoying just the quiet. I'm enjoying this because, like you, it allows me to kind of reset and restore myself so I can continue to give, not only to my clients but also my friends as well. So I do understand it.
That's really
So
cool.
when someone wants to change and they're listening to this conversation, they're like, you know what, I feel stuck. But I've been feeling stuck for maybe a year, 5 years, 10 years. Like, what are some things, or maybe one thing somebody can do just to kind of get started?
Yeah, I think we touched on it just briefly at the top, but I think it would be really helpful to go back there now and to the conversation around witnessing your habits and patterns and beliefs. Because when we start to get curious about the thoughts that we are letting occupy that valuable mental space, that energetic space, we only have so much ability. Like in any given moment, we really can only hold one thought at a time. And if the majority of them are not serving us, it really does keep us stuck. And so if we can begin to just break that, solid connection between like what I'm thinking and who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
start to feel that space of, oh gosh, there's that thought again that, you know, more money goes out than comes in. Oh, there goes more money. Oh, wow. I say that to myself often. Okay, that doesn't feel good when I say that. And just starting to catch ourselves, bring more awareness to it, then we can observe more neutrally because that's not the truth. That's just a thought we're thinking. What also is true is that money supports you every day.
That's true.
Everything you interact with all day long,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, short of maybe the people in our lives, right? Like it's so much of it was an exchange of money, right? I'm at my
Mm-hmm.
desk now. It's like, oh, my phone, my glasses, my water bottle, this computer
Yeah.
that we're speaking through, all of it was received through an exchange of money. And
Mm-hmm.
so in
Mm-hmm.
this specific example, if you're in a place of lack around money, and this is a really common one that I deal with with clients on, if we can start to just think about, oh, but look at, okay, yes, money's going out, but look at all the way money's coming back to me. Look at all
Mm-hmm.
the things. Look at this fridge full of food. Look at
Mm-hmm.
this car that's waiting for me to drive it. Look at all the clothes in my closet. Look at the books on my shelf here. All of these were brought to
Mm-hmm.
through an exchange of money. We can start to repattern. And something I love to do to make it not just a one time practice, but usually, I mean, I do love journaling, but because it's with me all the time, usually in the notes app on my phone, I'll start a thread where it's like, money supports me every day. And I'll write the date and just log, like, oh my gosh, I got a $15 check in the mail that I wasn't expecting. Like all these little things or I got a gift from that I wasn't expecting. These little things about, oh, it's is flowing in can really help to start breaking those like solidified
Mm-hmm.
connections that we don't want to continue to just like cut those grooves any longer.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to literally repattern our brain. We start to make new associations
Mm-hmm.
and then we start to see new things because our brain's beginning to be wired differently.
Mm. And as you were talking, Caitlin, I started thinking about my whole mindset about cleaning
Mm.
because my mother every Saturday would clean. And I didn't want my Saturdays to be like that. I wanted to either relax or just go out and enjoy, company with somebody. And finally, once I changed my thought is like, well, wait a minute, Jenny, you don't have to clean on Saturday. Now you do have to clean, but it doesn't have to be on Saturday. And that was like a light bulb. I mean, that happened like a few years ago. That was like a light bulb moment for me. So you're right. When you change your mindset, but I love it. You know, how we can look at all the things in our lives that is attached by money. I
Yeah.
mean, just the technology in and of itself. And like you said, the car, you go to your refrigerator, you
Mhm.
know, even something, it's just your bed that you can get to sleep on. So I love that. I love that. So you actually did it, and you really actually answered this one question because the next question was what's one simple practice listeners can use this week to quiet the mental noise or
Mhm.
create more clarity.
Yeah. Well, I'll give a different one since I already gave a money related practice that, and I encourage, like, if that landed for you, just try it for like a week. Just test it out, track how, like, all these infinite ways you're being supported by money. It feels really good. Um, but to share a little bit more about my personal practice, how I start every day to tap into that alignment, just in case someone's like really hungry for more. I start each day with a sacred practice. So for me, that looks like meditation, and usually while listening to like beautiful music, or sometimes I'll listen to a guided meditation that's prompting me through. But this allows me to get out of the mental noise that's like spiraling in my brain, kind of sink into my body. I feel my heart rate come down and my breathing slow. And I start to feel in those moments, it doesn't happen every time, but the more you practice these types of things, the more intentionally you can tap in. I start to feel myself come back online. It's like, oh, there's that life force energy. There's that spark of excitement around this project. There's that vitality that felt a little dim. And that really, really helps me. So I make it make it a priority every day, either at the very start of my day, right after
Mhm.
getting up, or when I come into my office before beginning my workday, that I take 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes if I have it to drop in, meditate, do some journaling, listen to some beautiful music, kind of calm all of the frantic energy down that we
Mhm.
can move into our days with. And then I engage with the things that I need to do because I realize everything I do is going to be more effective and efficient if I'm coming from that regulated, calm, aligned place rather than coming in with like all of that rushed energy and trying to like scramble to get things done. And people feel that. They feel that. I mean, as a business owner, I understand that, you know, the state I'm in when I record a video or write an email, that's transmitted. And so I want to make
Mhm.
sure I have like the cleanest, purest intentions behind it without any heaviness coming through.
Mm. I think that is so important, specifically, as you said, when you are working with clients.
Mhm.
You need to be at a place where you're just nice and calm and you're ready to really interact with them, and you have a lot more energy mentally and sometimes physically in
Yeah.
order to do that. But then also when you are interacting with family and friends, it's the same principle. So thank you for sharing that. So, and of course, those of you watching and listening, if you decide to take on that practice, I want you to comment below. But Caitlin, I've enjoyed this conversation. I've learned a lot. I mean, specifically when you started talking about the money exchange, I was like, she's right. How can people connect with you, hire you as a coach, mentor, and learn more about you?
Oh, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, so you could always connect with me over at my website, CailenAscher.com. On social media, I use Instagram the most. It's Cailen.Ascher. And I also newly have a Substack called The Self-Led Woman. I'm doing a podcast over there and some essays and really enjoying connecting with people. So any and all of those places, I would love to connect and hear what you got out of today's episode.
And of course, those of you watching and listening, I will share all of Kaylin's contact information and her links in the show page. So make sure you connect with her and let her know, how she can assist you in getting rid of your mental clutter as well, specifically if you're a businesswoman. Well, Cailen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Janet.
So, what did you think about my conversation with Caitlin? Did it kind of open your mind to maybe your mindset needs to shift? What you didn't hear was our after conversation where I shared that, being raised by a woman who did all her cleaning on Saturday, I thought that's the way things were supposed to be. But until a few years ago, I shifted my thinking and thinking, I can do the kitchen one day, I can do the bathroom one day, I can do the bedroom one day, and not take up my entire Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon cleaning. It was a shift in mindset. So connect with Caitlin. Let us know what you thought about this conversation. And of course, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And if you are, thank you so much. And of course, continue to follow me on social media at Janet the Organizer. So until next time, you have a clutter free day, but most of all, you have an organized week.